We are in Goa and the focus is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Foreign Ministers meeting here in Goa. While the focus was how the countries are trying to move forward, reform and modernize this forum and also add a few more initiatives that have been proposed by India. But when India and Pakistan are in the room, expect some sparring, expect a bit of tit for tat. Let's look at what happened within the SEO forum during the session, what was raised by India and what was Pakistan's response.
While the world was engaged in facing COVID and its consequences, the menace of terrorism continues unabated. Taking our eyes off this menace would be detrimental to our security interests. We firmly believe that there can be no justification for terrorism and it must be stopped in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism. The channel of finances for terrorist activities must be seized and blocked without distinction.
Terrorism continues to threaten global security. Let's not get caught up in weaponizing terrorism for diplomatic points for it. When I speak on this topic, I do so not only as the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, whose people have suffered the most in terms of number of attacks and number of casualties. I also speak as the son of the mother who was assassinated at the hands of terrorists. I and my country are firmly committed to eradicating this menace.
India's message very clear: talks and terror cannot go together, and that reflected in the body language of the leader as well. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar was seen receiving the foreign ministers of SEO member states, wherein warm welcome, smiles for others. With Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, it was not a very warm reception. Why? Because India's messaging on camera, not just to Pakistan or to India, but to the world, is that India is firm on its stand that talks and terror cannot go together. But what happened within the SEO forum and the room also carried on outside of the room. There were press conferences that were held, there were interviews that were conducted. Let's take a look at what happened in the interview and the press conference, how India responded to Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's allegations or claims.
एक तो obviously हम इस चीज़ को मज़ाहमत करते हैं और वक्त पे एक ऐसा जवाब देंगे कि हमको याद रहेगा, मगर इसका ये करना ही इनका पैचीनेस को दिखाता है. It is a show of their arrogance to the world. Okay, to hell with international law, to hell with United Nations Security Council resolutions, to hell with any bilateral agreement. India will hold their events in Kashmir. What they'll find is they will be unable to achieve 110% attendance because other people will not compromise on their morals.
देखिए, I said उनका कोई G20 से लेना देना नहीं है. I will also say उनका कोई श्रीनगर से भी लेना देना नहीं है. There is only one issue to discuss on Kashmir, which is when does Pakistan vacate its illegal occupation of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That is the only issue up for discussion.
Us friends at the Mumbai attack, you too would like to see the conclusion of the Mumbai trial. Yes. So perhaps you will take it up with the government in India that in order to conclude the Mumbai trial, India should consider sending the witnesses necessary in a court of law. We have a very similar legal system in India and Pakistan. Here in, sir, you can provide as many pieces of paper as you will like, but as your legal system works, so does mine. And in your legal system, along with those pieces of paper, you have to provide witnesses in order for a case to go forward. So until we have that sort of cooperation from the Indian side, this case cannot conclude.
You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism. Victims of terrorism defend themselves, counter acts of terrorism, they call it out, they delegitimize it, and that is exactly what is happening. So to come here and preach these hypocritical words as though we are on the same boat. I mean, they are committing acts of terrorism. And, you know, I don't want to jump the gun on what happened today, but I think we're all feeling equally outraged. So, I think, I mean, let's be very, very clear on this. You know, on this matter, the terrorism matter, I mean, I would say Pakistan's credibility is depleting even faster than its forex reserves.
But the SEO forum is not just about India, Pakistan and the spat. That's just one of the aspects of any time there is a multilateral and there are these two countries in the room, expect them to spar. But there's more to the SEO and the proposals and the initiatives that have been put forth by India. One, India wants English to be added as an official language. Why so? Because since its inception, Russian and Mandarin were the two languages, given that Russia and China were the founding members of the SEO, and the other Central Asian countries could either understand, speak Russian, or for that matter, Chinese in certain quarters quite well. And that's the reason why, after the inclusion of India and Pakistan in 2017, India has been nudging and now pushing for the inclusion of English language. Apart from that, there are two other very important news items. One is that there are going to be 4 new dialogue partners within the SEO, as also 2 new full members of the SEO. Let's take a look at what Dr. Jaishankar had to say about this information that we just put out.
In fact, one of the issues is also language. That SEO language, because of its original composition, was Russian and Chinese. So today, a country like India, and I raised this issue specifically, that, you know, we also need to make English one of the working languages of the SEO.